Hey everyone, welcome back to another recipe episode of In the Kitchen with Sandy, and today I'm going to share with you a recipe for my pulled pork. Now, I am making this, I'm going to make my pulled pork in my crock pot. So simple and easy way to make, and that's probably really the best way to make it, the way I would recommend, because it comes out so fork tender. It is absolutely amazing, and it's, you know, one of those, you don't have to tend to it. You just put it in your crock pot and you don't have to worry about it. No stirring or anything. But I'm making mine what we call naked today. I'm just going to season it really well with my signature blend seasoning In the Kitchen with Sandy. I'm going to pop a few garlic cloves in there. I'm going to just roughly chop them, put them in there, a little bit of chicken stock. Or today I don't have any chicken stock, so I'm using water and a couple chicken bouillon cubes, which work perfectly fine. And then I'm going to go ahead and make my barbecue sauce to put on there, you know, as you please. I'm not going to cover the entire thing with barbecue sauce today. Normally I add the barbecue sauce in there after I've shredded it, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to keep it just the way it is because it's seasoned perfectly. And the hubby wants his without barbecue sauce, so then I'm going to make barbecue sauce for the side for anybody who wants the barbecue sauce. There is already a recipe here on my channel for my homemade barbecue sauce, which is absolutely amazing. You could use any type of barbecue sauce you like, but you really need to check that recipe out. It is phenomenal. So let me show you what I've got going on here. All right, this is the piece of pork that I bought today at my local grocery store. This is a pork shoulder, the Boston butt. This is what is absolutely the best type of meat that you want to make your pulled pork with. You can't really make pulled pork with like the leaner cuts of like the pork loin or whatever, because there's really not enough fat in there to cook it, and it comes out dry, and it doesn't really shred apart very well. It just kind of chunks off, and it's really not that good. This piece of meat is the best piece of meat that you to get to make the pulled pork. It's what I've always used, and I think you'll be happy with this cut of meat. But what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to season it with my signature blend seasoning in the Kitchen with Sandy, of course. This stuff is phenomenal. If you haven't bought it, you need to go to my Facebook fan page and get you some. I'm just going to coat it really well on both sides. And you don't really need to add anything else with this, because this has so much flavor to it that you don't really need to add anything else to it. It's got the garlic, the onions, it's got salt, pepper, all kinds of good stuff there. And that's just a little piece of the garlic paper that I hadn't taken off yet. If you notice, this one has the bone in it, which I'm perfectly fine with. The majority of them that you do buy do have the bone in them. And that's perfectly okay, because it'll still cook up really nicely in the crock pot. I'm just going to put so much of this on there. And you know, that bone will just adhere away from that anyway. And you know, plus the bone has like bone marrow and stuff in it, which, you know, that acts as seasoning for your meats. So we're just going to let this hang out for just a little bit. If you wanted to, you could put this seasoning on top and let it, you know, marinate in this, kind of like a dry rub in this for, you know, a good hour or two before you put it in your crock pot. That would be perfectly fine. Actually, it'd probably make the meat a lot better. Now I've got just 3 small cloves of garlic that I am going to just roughly chop. Nothing major here. Of course, you know, if you pound them like that, it makes the garlic skin come off a lot easier. And like I said, I'm just going to kind of roughly chop these. Now there's already garlic in my signature blend seasoning, but I really, really, really like fresh garlic. And just about, these are sticky. My fingers are sticky. I'm going to cut my fingers off. I really like fresh garlic in just about any meat that I cook. So we're just going to cut these up nicely. Like I said, they don't have to be too big, too small. It doesn't matter the size of them. They're just kind of roughly chopped. And then I'm just going to add those right into my crock. Got my crock pot right off to the side here, ready to go. I've already got it on high, heating up. All right, guys, this is my crock pot. I've already put my garlic right down in there. And then I'm going to take my piece of meat and just set it right in my crock pot. If I can get a hold of it. And don't worry about taking any of the fat off there. You want a piece of meat that has a lot of the fat on it. Like I said, that's the reason why. Oh, my Christmas plate. That's the reason why you really want to use this type of meat to make pulled pork, because it has a lot of fat content to it, and it makes the pulled pork absolutely delicious. I'm going to drop 2 chicken bouillon cubes in there. You could use chicken stock if you have it. I prefer the bouillons anyway. You guys already know that because they're more flavorful. I can get them open. I'm just going to pop them right down in there, and I'm just going to put just enough liquid around this just to get it cooking. Probably going to use about a cup of water. Maybe a cup and a half, if that. But this piece of meat is going to render its, you know, it's going to render juices as well. We're not going to pour it right on top there. We're just going to pour it this side. Now, this is perfect. Look at that. Look how perfect that is. I've got this on high. All right, I'm going to put my lid on it just like that. Close it up. And then we're going to just let the crock pot do its magic. This will probably take maybe about 4.5 hours, 5 hours on high. Probably not that long, because this piece of meat is only like a 2-pound piece of meat, so it may not take that long. I can't really tell you exactly how long it's going to take. I just cook it till it falls off the bone. It's that simple. So when I come back, when the meat is done, I will let you know the exact time that this piece of meat cooked. Like I said, it's slightly over 2 pounds. Shouldn't really take that long. And then I'll show you how beautifully juicy and tender it is. You're gonna like this. All right, you guys, look at this pulled pork. This was in the crock pot for about 4.5 to 5 hours, and I want you to look at that. I just pulled it out of there, and I want you to see exactly how easy it is to just pull apart. It's just like fork tender. You just, like, it just shreds apart perfectly. All right, guys, look at that. I've shredded it perfectly. Here is my barbecue sauce. Like I said, I didn't film the recipe for that because I already have that on my channel. This stuff is so fork tender. It is amazing, and don't you dare throw that broth away that you cook this in, because after you pull this out and get your pork all shredded up, you can always throw some carrots and potatoes in that delicious stock. So you're welcome. I'm gonna give this a bite. It is so tender, so delicious. Make sure you give this a try. It's very simple, it's very easy. You know, I love you guys so very much, and I'll see you on the next recipe. Take care, bye-bye.